Today is January the 17th, 2012, and I'm looking at a study done by the Conference Board of Canada about economic growth in Canada. And guess what it says? Saskatoon will lead the country's economic growth this year, along with the other resource-rich cities of Calgary, Edmonton, and Regina. The real losers in economic growth this year will be none other than Quebec and St. John, Newfoundland. What this tells me and makes clear is that the West economically is strong and growing. And that's always been true throughout the 45 years that I have been actively involved in the movement for independence for Western Canada. Ever since I became fully aware in the very early 70s and before that of the frustration of being in a federal system where the majority of votes are in Quebec and Ontario, and they constantly vote for the auto industry and for the powers of Ontario predominantly, with Toronto being the center of the universe. But now, with the manufacturing sector of Canada being totally unproductive, non-productive, uncompetitive, we see that Western Canada, with the Gateway Project and with the transportation of resources to the United States, is viable as the most prosperous nation in the world. And who do we have standing against this? The environmentalists who refuse to accept any form of energy except the form they use in their homes and in their lives to transport and heat themselves, and those in the protest Wall Street movement who hate economic development of any kind. Well, Western Canadians are not predominantly in either of those two groups, and Western Canadians, through referendum, initiative, and recall, could build a country where the prosperity of Saskatoon, Regina, Edmonton, and Calgary grow and continue, and with the Gateway Pipeline producing well over 62,000 man-years of employment in British Columbia, which was recently reported. Those who stand in the way of that economic development will be destroying the lives and future of the people of northern British Columbia, who will prosper and will benefit from the Gateway Project. This and other economic development is based on the resource and energy sector of Western Canada, the only thing that keeps the Canadian dollar afloat. And we Western Canadians have to realize that if we keep pouring sand down the rat hole in central Canada and subsidizing the inefficient industries of Ontario and Quebec, we will give up our heritage and gain nothing but, in the end, contempt from the parliament elected in that area that basically used us as a milk cow to take what we have and distribute it to buy votes from their friends in Quebec and Ontario. So this demonstrates that the prosperity of the West will not last forever unless we control our destiny by a government of, for, and by Western Canadians elected here with all the power to determine every issue that matters, from transportation to the mining sector to agriculture to the oil and gas industry and the transportation and sale of those resources. The resource revenues must remain here for future generations. If this doesn't happen, we will end up bankrupt like the Maritimes have as a result of Ottawa's control. And we therefore say, free the West and make prosperity here the best.